page, and then Twitch.
All right.
It says that we're live, dude. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How do you say your last name? Luchsinger.
Luchsinger.
Luchsinger, yeah.
Yep.
Luchsinger, my man. So Matt and I went to silver school together. Dude, what a freaking trip, man.
Yeah, that's where we actually met. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yep. And I knew Kelly before. Let me go share this. I need to go to Facebook here. And
I actually just talked to Kelly the other day.
Yeah, she's awesome. I need to have her back on one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Coming after you, Kelly. I might have to tag her. Somebody tag Kelly Engel.
Yeah, she's in South Carolina now having fun, man. It's good.
Yeah, she got Twitter pated.
She's not there doing that anymore, though.
Oh, she did, but that.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her for a while. I've been.
Yeah, you'll have to hit her up.
Yeah, I do need to hit her up. So let me see. Share via. You guys, I'm trying to figure this out. Share to Twitter. Share via. Dude, I can share it to Twitter. Okay, I'm sharing it to Twitter.
I don't know any of this stuff, man.
Bought it, dude. I'm like,
did he actually officially buy it?
No, they're still in hold.
Still going through all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm trying to share this, you guys. Okay, so share more options. How come it's not share to a group, share to a page? Why the heck isn't it allowing me to just share it on here? Copy link, and then I'll just go to my page and post it, I guess. So Matt, where are you at? Why don't you tell while I'm figuring this out, all this technology, tell people where you're located and what you do, man.
Yeah, so I am actually located in the Great Pacific Northwest. We are in the Columbia River Gorge, technically located in Bingen, Washington now. Originally, we were in Hood River, Oregon, which is directly across the river. The Columbia River separates Oregon, Washington. I just happened to move across the river because I got a really nice facility over here now. It's awesome. So yeah, living in the Columbia River Gorge. It's beautiful. This is like Adventure Town, USA, right? Windsurf capital of the world, kiteboard central, stand-up paddleboard, mountain bike. You know, being in the Northwest as you are as well. It's like I live in this little zone that is.
Dude, if people don't know this about Matt. Matt freaking runs ultra marathons.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'm going to run a couple more. I actually, my back is pretty toasted. I go in for an MRI on Wednesday because I can barely walk at this point. And I think it's a disc issue, but hopefully we'll get that figured out. But yeah, so running the ultras, kiteboarding.
What's the longest race you've ever run?
50 miles. So
what's the longest you've ever ran at one time? Personally?
50 miles.
Okay.
Right. Which I would like to do a 100-mile race at some point, but I mean, I don't know if my body will allow it at this point, but we'll see.
Go look at David Goggins, dude. He just out there freaking.
Oh, dude, I love that man.
He's out there peeing Coke and calling everybody sissies.
I love it. But yeah, so we're in this cool little spot, and you know, I got into this world of dog training, and it's a family dog training business. That's just kind of where the money is in reality for a lot of it. And it started just by, actually I was with my girlfriend at the time was a vet tech, and I got into it in kind of the dog rescue world. Okay. And just like a lot of people, I spent a lot of time in Baja, Mexico, kiteboarding and surfing, and we would always come back with a freaking van full of dogs, right? Yeah. And then I ended up adopting a dog, having problems, going through trainer after trainer, finding issues, and slowly got into it myself and kind of learned and grew from there. But we've been helping people here for about 10 years now in the Gorge, and definitely focused more in the past on aggression, dog aggression, reactivity, which I really regret being as a primary training deal, because I get all the dogs that come with serious problems now, right? Instead of getting the fun loving puppies and starting them fresh. But
and that's one of the reasons
we have a lot of fun.
That's one of the reasons why I want to talk to new people too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to talk and see different aspects of how people got into the training and where they started. And
what a great live stream, my wife.
Around here, it's around here where I live, because it's such an adventure town, everybody's in the woods, mountain biking, hiking. They're at the beach. They want to take their dog everywhere, and they only want to take their dog off leash. So that's where we focus a lot on what I call adventure training, where we're making it so those dogs can do kind of like urban agility out in the woods, and people can mountain bike and run with their dogs. And we do what we can. Obviously, a lot of it's education on clients and making it work.
Yeah. Let me see. Mark, what's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, Mark. What's up, buddy?
I want Mark on here too. Mark, you're welcome to come on in. We'll chat. We'll chat, dude, because I'm
Mark's doing great things, man. And I got to give Mark huge props in the fact that he's found a really good coach that he's sticking with. He's doing everything, and he's learning a ton from her and growing, but he's also being extremely smart in his business approach, where he's sticking to a very specific deal, and he's only taking on dogs that he really wants to work with, and starting from scratch that way, instead of being like, oh my God, I have to take this dog, I have to take that dog, and working with a lot of different behavioral problems. So huge props to Mark on that, on getting his business rolling and sticking to a specific platform.
So if you could go back, what would you do, dude? What would you do? Like if you were going back in time, if I could give you a magic wand, poof, you're right back to when you're brand spanking new. Signing of the Shoulders of Giants. Matt has always been a helping hand.
Good. I'm glad I can help, man.
Attaboy. Yeah, I love Mark. He's great. And I love that, Mark, we've been on Clubhouse. I was talking to Matt about Clubhouse, how he needs to get on there. Mark, you need to get back on there sometimes. Or we need to do, I want to do maybe some scheduled rooms there where we can all get in there and have some fun. And
for sure.
And I'm going to have Michael Shikashio, who I met on Clubhouse. He's going to be coming on one of these live streams. Mark your calendars. It's definitely going to be one to set aside some time for. This guy really, really impressed me, man. And I love it when that happens. And he continues to do so as I talk to him and as I've scheduled this time with him. He's a real deal, and I look forward. And they said the goals of these live streams that I do is just to talk to various people in the industry, and where we can just kind of share observations. People can see what it's like, what we talk about, and just like I did with a couple of conversations ago with Gina, who's a case manager and a new trainer, how we can kind of hash out how we talk through cases. And even if I can't be there with her, I kind of know what's going on. And what happens in the rescue is a lot of times we just don't have a choice of the dogs. Jenny does it right, and Doggone Seattle, who is the other interview I did with, taking dogs. She can't take dogs that she can't handle herself. But people they try to think with their emotions. Does that make sense to you?
No, 100%. And in my opinion, when you look at those rescues,
what's up, Dylan?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I personally feel that, speaking of emotions, we see a lot of really good dogs get put down because we're sometimes trying to save the dog that's cowering in the back of the kennel, right? Because of our emotions taking over, going, I feel so bad for that dog, I have to try to help him. When there's a perfectly happy dog that's jumping up and down, and gets
being a dog
sometimes put down for, high energy and jumping, I think that, again, like you said, emotions play a huge role with that.
Well, and to know that, look, man, the more cases that you take, well, first off, the less time that you're going to have with your own dogs, right? And then also, I tell my clients I can't want it more than you do, dude. And that's where we were chatting. Matt and I just kind of had like a pretty involved. We went down the rabbit hole, dude.
It's easy to do,
especially when we're colleagues and we can share scars. Dude, what are you doing? You don't need to be nesting in the couch, right? I got a little cattle dog trying to make a nest. It is spring. 'Tis the season. No. But there are some real valid concerns that we have as professionals and the observations that we make. And not only that, but it blows my fucking mind that people cannot see. And they've hired me to tell them the truth. I tell them the truth, and they can't see it in front of their own eyes. And a lot of times it's the inability to accept the responsibility, the daunting responsibility, I guess, that's in front of them. And maybe it's a decision that they don't want to admit that they maybe regret, or I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. But I've seen like somebody's, and I'm like, your dog's aggressive. And they'll make an excuse. Oh, they're barking at that dog over there. And I'm like, they're not even looking in that direction, dude. What are you talking about? Like, it's making me crazy. But the thing is that just like Jenny says too, is like, we got to realize that we can't help everybody. And as you've starting to go down this path too, you realize that you have a passion for dogs that are passionate.
Yeah, I do. Big time. Like it's and that's where, like, you had asked almost like if you could drop the magic wand, right? And start from scratch again. No doubt in my mind, I would probably go back to school, right? And like actually find like a solid dog training school, like whether it's Starmark, Michael Ellis, whatever it was 10 years ago, right? Because Michael Ellis had his. It's just I didn't have the cash. I started my own business. I couldn't make it. And then you're busy. You can't escape because you're trying to pay bills. And I would do that. And then I think that would have pushed me in a very certain direction of where I would have wanted to be today, which is working dogs, right? And working with those sport dogs or working dogs. And it's taken me 10 years to get to a point where I'm actually able to start, dipping my feet into that world, because I have a little bit of time with having a bigger facility and having a couple employees that can really help me out, to where like I'm doing more decoy work now. And I just went to actually Huffman Canine in Canby, Oregon, and Jensen, who's the owner of Huffman Canine, man, the guy is amazing. Huge props to those guys. I learned so much in 3 days, and I'm starting, like, I've decoyed for a long time.
What's the name? I want to shout them out in the comments here. What's the
Huffman Canine?
HUFFMAN?
MAN, yep. Yep, Huffman Canine.
Do you know what their website is?
I think it's just huffmancanine.com, if I'm correct.
I will find out.
But Jensen, who's the owner, the guy is unreal. He's a phenomenal trainer, handler, decoy, and his head trainer, David, there as well. Just so good. I've done a ton of decoy work in the past, but it's been for fun, like with my own dogs, right? It's kind of like what would you call, like, you're being more of just a bite bitch. Yeah. So I was able to go spend 3 days with these guys and just learn so much from them in the sense of dogs, training, protection world, and police world. And because of them, I'm actually already able to step in and help my local canine units here, which we're getting together. I would have been working with them already, but because of my back right now that happened just recently, I'm having to hold off for a little bit. But these guys are phenomenal, especially if you got a working dog and you're looking for protection.
A chemical engineer with a background in business. Dude, I love it.
Yeah, no, this guy is a genius, and Jensen, the way he looks at dogs and the way he looks at training and stresses, I've never had someone approach it in a way he has, which was really cool.
Yeah, look at this. This is great.
Yeah, so check those guys out for sure. Those guys, they've got a phenomenal team over there.
Beautiful.
David Price, phenomenal. Cool. Decoy, great guys.
Yeah, if you guys get tagged in this, I would love to have, definitely love to have Jensen.
Oh man,
that's just that background, dude. That background of educated as a chemical engineer and market. I'm just like, oh, dude, and now he's working with dogs.
Yeah, and he just got back from a huge seminar in Wisconsin with Amar Winkler. Amar Winkler, I believe is his name, who is a legend in the like decoy and sport world.
Cool. You got some.
So he was just working with those guys out there learning, right? Again, like a lot of our master coaches, he's still out there learning.
Yeah.
Which I think is just awesome.
I think that's
this
a
is
mark
a
of
never ending deal.
There's no
And I
finish line
think
here.
the more you get into this, at least for me, and I think you're probably gonna 100. I think most people that have been in this world would 100% agree is that, like when you start in this world, like you always feel like you know everything, right? And the more you get into it, you're like, oh, maybe I don't know so much. And now I'm at 10 years in, and I'm like, I don't know a goddamn thing. And I'm like, I just want to learn everything again and start from scratch. It's crazy.
Well, I think that you also have experienced some heartache too. Like you know what you don't want to do. Like, and that's what we were talking about. Like literally you were saying, bro, it's what did you say? Like starving my soul or something? No.
Oh, it's eating my soul.
The opposite. Eating my soul.
Yeah,
dude.
It eats your soul, man. Especially when it's like everyone's coming to you with aggressive or reactive or just dogs that they've literally, it's like, I don't even know how you can mess up a dog that bad in 6 months, like, or a year. Like, how did you mess that dog up so bad? And then they want it to be something that it'll never be. Right.
Dude, when you look at Jenny here, I love Jenny. When you know enough to know how much you don't know, that's how I feel. Yeah. Well, and that's what, she's been in it, and she's up here in Seattle. I don't know if you've ever met her, but she's rad, dude. And just like we see dogs, and just like that video I played with Gina, like I could play 100 videos. I could show you 100 news articles of these dogs that are serious ass dogs out there, man. And I don't know. It just boils down to people thinking with their emotions. Yep. It does not feel good. Why the heck is the screen like this? There. It does not feel good.
I think, the other thing is, like, especially like something I picked up a lot when I was working over at Huffman Decoy, and we were like diving deep into like the world of aggression, right? Because working with protection dog, police dogs, that's what you're doing. You're building aggression, right? And we kind of are, like, I already kind of knew it, but when you look at it from a different approach in that sense, the amount of people in the pet world that create aggression, not knowing it, and they reward the living hell out of it without even knowing it. Like, the amount of victories their dog gets is mind blowing.
And then they come to you to kill the drive.
Yes.
They're like, dude, this thing that I've done.
Yep.
Stop it. It's
like your dog has won so many battles, so many victories, and you've built the aggression in without even realizing it. It blows my mind on that stuff.
Well, because they have a misconception of what a dog is. They anthropomorphize it. They put human characteristics on it. And you guys,
they cuddle it.
In 2 days, I'm having on Calvin Wilbon. Okay, survival comfort. We're going to be talking. I'm sure we'll be talking some aggression, and then I've been chatting with Brian, his camp, the Hammer, Brian Bailey, why dogs attack us and how to prevent it. Okay, but I've also been given another book to read, and I'm in the middle of that one. Brian's first book about his philosophy and what brought him to work with dogs and work with aggression cases. As well. So he'll be coming on in the future. So check that out. And I definitely recommend the Understanding Dogs Through Survival and Comfort. I'll put up a link.
Yeah.
And then we'll also...
I need to read that.
It's a pretty good book. It's pretty quick, man. And the thing is, I talk with Calvin. He's my friend. And I really enjoy him. And we'll talk about different scenarios that people will bring him thinking that they're like, dude, I got you. What about this? And then he'll be like, well, here's that, but I look forward to it too. And different scenarios that people mislabel, right? Like the dog loves me, and sorry to say, folks, but not like we think, and then there's different types of love too. There's 8, like the Greek philosophical 8 degrees of love, right? And so then there's that, which I want to get into. I'll get into that, but not my clients are just like, what the what the heck are you talking
Like,
about, man?
who are you? What?
But they're applying the wrong type of love, I think, too.
Oh,
Like
100%.
misappropriating this type of love, and a lot of times the dogs become emotional dumping bags, right? Where they don't.
You see that all the time, right? Everyone wants the dog to fulfill their needs without them fulfilling the dog's needs.
It's a two-way street,
Right.
man.
Yep.
And when you want to kill drive, that's not really. I mean,
just the suppression that happens in the dog training world in general, in my opinion, is there's too much of it. And if people learn how to work with the dogs in drive, it's such a fine line, because people come to you because they've got a drivey dog and they can't control it. So you need to somehow, not suppress the drive, but control the drive and teach them how to control the drive so that they have control. But yet they don't want to do that because they don't want to put the energy in to actually harnessing that drive and energy into something powerful. Right?
Yeah, let's give an example of this. And I'll give an example. I'll start like, oh, geez. Now my brain goes blank. If you got an example right, ready to rock. But like, okay. Jumping up.
You could even say, like, look at, around here, we have a lot of herding dogs. Okay. Right? A lot of people like herding dogs because they can go mountain biking with them. And they have tons of energy, but they're only mountain biking on a Saturday or Sunday as a weekend warrior. And Monday through Friday, they want the dog to live on the couch, but they have a high drive,
yes,
like working line healer, right?
A no joke dog.
Yeah, or border collie, whatever. And they're wondering why the dog is trying to bite other people's tires, or when someone passes them on the road, the dog takes off and bites their fucking ankle.
I love this, Jenny. I love that you're here. The problem is most people just want a pet dog and they don't get these drivey dogs because they're uneducated or misled or whatever. And they do. No, they get. Okay, there we go.
They get.
Yeah, there we go. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Well, they have a totally misconception, right? And just like what I was saying when I was talking to you, Jenny, about like a manic dog is a happy dog and a calm, relaxed dog is a sad dog. That's what I've heard. Like I'm like, oh, they look so sad. Like and do you know what, dude? When I have dogs boarding with me and their parents want a picture of them, I don't take a picture of them as they're doing right there. I get them up, I run them around, I like make them look like they're happy.
Yep.
For their parents, because I've had too many people be like, "Is he okay?"
Yes, correct.
He looks sad.
Like we always like to say, a calm dog's a happy dog or a good dog.
Yeah.
But it's like no one wants to see it because they think they're sad, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, he's better than okay. He's like just zonked out and enjoying life. And
yeah,
but I've had so many of those. And I've had people call me and be like, dude, he looks sad. Is he okay? Yeah. Do I need to come home early? And I'm just like, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Well, and if you can't see it, unfortunately, but I have like a super high drive Dutch Shepherd. That's my personal dog. He's 7 right now, but the dog is, it's a fucking Dutch. They're high energy, crazy.
Dude,
he's passed out cold by my feet right now.
Dude, so I send Matt, one of my clients, and I'm like, hey, bro, this guy's moving down there. And the next thing I know, Matt posts a picture of his pant leg ripped off, dude.
That dog was
I'm like, is that my dog? Is that the dog that I sent you?
I've worked with a few of those dogs this year, and that dog was a man-eater, man. Great dog.
Great dog. Yeah, he loved me. Like, we got along. Very good.
But man, like I would say with that dog, it was the instability.
Hair trigger
with no like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there was no sign. Like if you pulled out a tape measure, man, and you just instantly a centimeter, that dog was attacking you. And it got sold right as a protection dog, service dog. But there's no way that dog could be around kids. That dog
she paid a lot of money for that dog.
From unfortunately, someone who should not be selling dogs, but has a very good marketing
Here, George, my man, is here too.
Deal.
George is OG, you guys. George
Yeah.
has been in the industry longer than I've been alive. So
Yes,
most
just what he
pet
said.
owners get a dog so they can have a friend. They hire us to keep their friends becoming an asshole.
It's true. And unfortunately, what I would say on that top of that, George, is for me at least, and I think I'm sure you have dealt with this as well, it's the dog's already an asshole, right? Because they waited too long for training, right? Where it's like they're coming to us because now we have to fix that.
What's your favorite thing that a client, because I'm looking at that rat fink, George. I might have to make a little rat fink for you out of glass, bro.
That thing's awesome.
Wouldn't that be cool to have a little rat fink in his, like, you can't hang it from your mirror or anything, but you could have it in your shop, and we'll talk, bro. But yeah, sorry. That's
No.
ADD, dude, like rat fink. Yeah, and a lot of times I wait way too long. And what I'm saying is my favorite clients are matchmaking clients, when they're like, hey, dude, we're thinking about getting a puppy. Would you help us along? And I'm like, dude, I want to I'm like, are you for real? What's going on? Like, where's the cameras at? Because I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're like, okay, let me help you find the dog, right? Let's find the right dog for you, and let's get it going from there. That's always best case scenario, and I get some of those, but man, it's hard.
Rat fink, I bet is what it's talking about. Yeah, it's hard, but also I cherish people like that, you know.
Yeah.
So if you or know somebody that you know is a first time dog owner, and you know, take the time, man, to do the work. It's going to pay you dividends. And especially if you get a solid dog. And one of my favorite things to do is to matchmake for people. And so I will personally, and I could probably do it from afar. I've done it before. I'm flying to Philly with a dog that I just picked up. And what are you doing tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.?
Flying to Houston, Texas to get a dog, right?
Yep.
Yeah, to evaluate some puppies and grab a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. You know, and so that's what we love to do, man. We're passionate about it, but it just kind of, there's incongruence. And I think that as you get in the industry and you start to make observations, the pattern becomes pretty clear about people just, I don't know, we can help only inspire them to see the light. Absolutely, George.
I love that for sure. You know, and I think Bart told me at one point, and I'm sure I think I remember hearing it at school, whether it was gold or silver. It was, you know, you have to know who your client is, right? And that's where it's like, sometimes you get those clients that come in that are like, they're into their dog, man. They're into training. And like, that's who we obviously want, because we can take that dog's drive and have a lot of fun with it and create a really fun, loving, engaging dog that can go anywhere. But then we also get, you know, an older couple that has a 4-month or 6-month-old golden doodle or shepherd puppy, and they're in their 80s. And we're like, okay, well, you can't build drive in that dog, right? In times, lots of times in the wrong household, but it's in that household, and now we have to figure out how the hell are we going to try to keep it in this household, right? And find ways for outlets for that.
And a lot of times it's just a management situation too, you know. And then we also have to look at the health of our clients and look at the realistic expectations, right? And this dog is, I mean, one of my friends is a doctor, and he says that if I wanted to live long, to not fall as we get older. Like, that's what happens, man. If somebody takes a good fall and need an approach that can do, and then they actually will do. Absolutely.
Needs to be fun for them.
Absolutely. And not only that, but I was talking to Fred Hassan, and he was like, I was like, Fred, how do you handle a client that maybe hasn't done the work the week before? And he was like, look, man, they're there. They don't have to be there. Right. And a lot of times, like, I've found out that people get shamed a lot of times for hiring a dog trainer, it blows my mind that that's what happens, but in some aspects it doesn't surprise me, right? We need to have as many solutions in our box as possible. That's our duty as a professional, to have an eclectic knowledge base. And so the various cases that come to us, like we have the dog that's a variable, we have the human aspect that's a variable, and then we have the environment that dog lives in, the home, and that's always different. Those 3 variables are always changing, right? And it's like a polynomial coming in, and
Yeah.
we kind of get this equation in front of us. We look for the pattern of where things went wrong, and then we kind of make suggestions on that. But also, there is the fundamental foundational approach of obedience work, right? And so even though we put out fires with some behavioral aspects of rehabilitation, there's also that back up full spectrum learning of the foundation of like putting the dog through the obedience training.
And it's repetition, right?
Repetition is the
At that
mother of
point,
learning.
I mean, and that's what a lot of clients have a hard time with. And that's where, like, we know where it's mostly, if it's mostly positive only, or whatever, force free, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Repetition is the mother of learning. Just know
Yes.
that, hey, look, if you want to use positive reinforcement only, that the duration of repetition increases to an almost unachievable
Correct.
point.
And then
In my
generalize it.
opinion. Right. And to be able to generalize it and then to get to a reflexive state, positive only, I mean, it's achievable. And I'm going to have some trainers that are doing work in that space. I absolutely love, to reinforce my dogs. Absolutely. But
well, there's some amazing, more positive only sport dog trainers out there doing unbelievable work, which is awesome to see. I love seeing it now, obviously, and they're much better trainers than me. Like, I know that, but it's also, I find that, or in my belief, it's like, okay, how far are they going to go with those dogs? Right. I'm always curious, because I feel like at a certain point, like, the dog's going to blow off. I mean, I could be very wrong. As much as I've been in here for 10 years of training, I'm a new trainer, right? That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Where someone like George has been in it forever, right? I mean, huge difference.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's what I was saying. Fred Hassan was carefully selected dogs. That's what the caveat that Jenny's putting there. Absolutely. And the competing motivators is a real thing too, man. And I know dogs that would look at you as a sucker if you came at them as positive motive, until you built a relationship with that animal where they respected you and looked at you with that of something that they wanted to listen to, I guess.
Well, that dog that you sent me, right, that tore my pants up, like, good luck. Like, have fun with that. Yeah. It ain't gonna work.
Well, that dog needs a very experienced handler, man. And not only that, but that dog needs to be a sport dog.
Correct.
That dog is not as reliable, and is not just
with a very dedicated owner, right? Like,
yeah, but
they very dedicated owner there, and it's still just not. It was in the wrong hands at that point.
Yeah, and a lot of people are out there doing a disservice, putting dogs out there that are being mislabeled, and even in the rescue world too, like dogs that shouldn't be placed or temperament tested incorrectly.
Too many dogs being placed that should never be placed.
Yeah. When people are telling me, I'm not on social media anymore, but people have been telling me that there's kind of an influx of dog attacks that they've been seeing. And I've been like, really? So I don't know if that's true or not lately, because of COVID. There was this rush of COVID puppies, But yeah, what Fred Hassan was saying is like, look, they're showing up. Take advantage of that. They know they're behind. Let it run its course. And let them
stick with the basics.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the best trainers in the world are the best because, in my belief, they're hands down the best at the basics. It's fundamentals, and they've mastered them.
Always tell the truth, even if it breaks their heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's the saying? It's like, you found the right trainer if they don't tell you what you want to hear, but they tell you the truth, right? Something like that. It's true. You got to tell them the truth. Otherwise, you're scamming people.
I think the attacks are more easily reported to the masses. Okay. Yeah. Even always tell the truth, even if it breaks your heart, man. That's a good one. And that's what you owe. That's what we owe That's
People,
why
that
we're
is our
getting paid.
job.
That's
That is
why
our
they're
job.
taking that money out. And if you don't tell them the truth, then you are unethical. And not only that, but if you, oh man, and I've called people out, and that's what I love about this clubhouse is that I've called it out to their faces because that's what I want to do. I want to call it out to your face. I don't want to talk shit about somebody
Correct.
just because it's going to bring them more exposure, right? But there are people out there that gain what do you call it, narcissistic supply from these animals. There are people out there that really shouldn't be working with dogs, and they
And
have a
taking
big
money.
and they're taking a lot of money hand over
Yeah.
fist, and they shouldn't be working with dogs. That period. They're abusing
Correct.
dogs, and so do due diligence. That's why I love talking to people. That's why it's pretty obvious when we're talking to people that are passionate about what they do. That these are the people that we want to hire, and these are the people, not only that, but I want to meet their dogs.
And you
If you
got to
have
read reviews.
and
It's
read
like
reviews,
you better hope they have a lot of reviews. And yeah, how do their dogs live? Right?
yeah.
What do they do with their dogs? Can you see their dogs? Are they on leash 24/7? Can they
Don't
be
judge
off
me
leash
by
at
my
people?
dogs. Man, all my dogs.
He's got a circus show up there, man.
It's a lot of fun, but like I've taken the day or the year off too, like of just dogs, and kind of let my dogs be idiots.
Yeah.
Which I need to get on them, but
well, and it's and that too. Like I think you had somewhat mentioned it earlier. It's like when you do really get into this training world, you definitely don't get to work your dogs.
That's right. The more
nearly as much. I mean, it's
they suffer
because your focus is everywhere else.
Well, not only that, but you're bringing in unbalanced dogs into their environment, and especially when you have herding dogs, like dogs that are their sole goal in life is to control the environment, to bring order, right? And if you just keep bringing chaos over and over and over and over again, that's got to have an accumulative effect. I got to believe with that animal as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw that with like my guy who's passed out next to me. I brought him. I mean, he's helped me rehabilitate a lot of dogs, kind of in a pack drive.
Sad. He's so sad.
Yeah, I know. Out cold here, but it's like, he's definitely been through the ringer, and he lets me know if he starts to snap at a dog, I'm like, whoa, that dog's energy's off.
Yeah,
like there's something going on there.
Yeah, we need
because it doesn't happen often, but when he does, it's like, whoa, I better pay attention.
Yeah, that's my cedar boy. I got a painting of him right up here, and dude, I listened to that boy.
Yeah,
and you know what I did, man? Is I on my property out here, I got one of those harnesses. Oh, look who showed up! Well, first off, let me finish this story. Otherwise, I got a harness. I put it on Cedar. I put a GoPro on his back just to see what adventure he would do, dude. I wish I never would have done that. You know why? What's that? Bud Light seltzer?
Yeah, cheap shit.
Where's your?
That's what I drink. Cheap shit.
What do they call that stuff? That White Claw.
Oh yeah. I can't drink beer, man. It's either liquor or that.
Okay.
So
anyway, so I wish I would have never put this GoPro on this dog because I saw how dedicated this animal was to me.
Yeah.
All he did was watch me, dude.
The whole time, right?
The whole freaking time, man.
Yeah.
I'm out there digging in the garden. I'm out there just doing stuff. I'm look over. He's doing his own thing over there, dude. He's just sitting over there watching me.
Yeah. You move, he's already over there hanging out watching.
And not only that, dude, but it really was a profound moment for me. I sat and fast forward that whole thing, and it was just me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, these dogs really love us, man.
Yeah, that's my guy here. It doesn't matter where I am. At one of my weddings, I was up, we were on like an 80-acre ranch, man, and there's tons of people around, kids playing ball everywhere. I was walking towards my cabin, I'd just be off, and he'd be running around with people. The moment I headed towards my cabin, he was already next to me.
I love that, dude.
It's like I always tell him, I tell people like, teach your dog to follow. You never have to teach him to come.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it's like they always have one eye and one ear on you. And this guy's glued to me. He can be away from me, which is important. But it's like if I walk, bang, he's right there next to me.
Of course, he's at my feet.
Yeah.
But dude, if I all the dogs will run out into the field. This is her, you guys.
Oh yeah,
my little piggy. I wonder if you can hear her grunt. Can you hear
Oh
her
yeah,
grunt?
yeah.
I call her my pigger. But dude, like all the whole pack will run like way out into the field, and she'll stop and turn around and
Just
look
can
for
I do
me.
this? Can I go?
Well, look for me. Like
Yeah,
she wants me. Like and not only that, but she'll sit and wait at the door if I'm not
yeah,
outside yet, and like she'll scratch at the door. Like all the dogs are out there having the time of their life, and she just wants to be. And that's why she's my heart dog, dude. That's why
yeah.
she's my
That's
my
this guy
girl.
Legend, man. He's the same.
Legend, love that name.
Yeah,
Well, and we got to spent most of my career on doing lies from other.
yeah.
That's and
You've
remember,
been in it a
folks.
long time, man. It's the
Yeah,
truth.
and the truth shall set you free, and it does. The truth does set you free, but also remember the truth can be brutal. And guess who's
People don't
here, dude?
necessarily like it.
Guess who's here?
Oh, geez, she's in here. We better go. We better
All right,
go.
guys. Nice talking to you.
We're out.
Just kidding. Love you, Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah, miss you. Love you. George, take care, buddy. Love you, dude.
See you, buddy.
And yeah, keep doing what you do. You guys, he's an OG, George is. So, and yeah, so these dogs, dude, like just know, they give them their lives to you, man, and
They do, and if you
that's
give
why
it
it eats our
back,
souls. That's why it eats our souls when we see a dog that's unfulfilled. And
yeah, because they really want to be there, and it's like if you engage with your dog, that's what they want. Like I love playing tug. I love doing that stuff with my dogs because it's the most like interactive you could be with your dog. And when you do that from a young age, like talk about play, I mean, like so many people don't even know how to play with a young puppy. And it's like if people were to do that, they could really see what their dog is capable of, right? And their dog is going to be engaged with them.
have you ever been to the play guys like Ivan or
I haven't
I would
been
like to.
I would love to, see what his thing's all about. He's done a good job promoting that. And, Michael Ellis, I was supposed to work with him years ago. I just wasn't able to make it down there.
I'm trying to tell my 18-year-old dog to lay down, but keep
but no, yeah. So play, and that's a huge part of my training, with dogs, and especially young dogs, is interacting with them, engaging with them. I think Ivan, the great thing about Ivan and what he just talks about with the play is how important it really is, and how you can how it creates a social dog as well.
Most dogs in a pet home are unfulfilled, and ownership in sold as a bill of goods on how to fulfill them. So is sold what I don't know is sold as a bill of goods on how to fulfill them.
Yeah,
people think that all they need is love.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
again, I think so many people get these young puppies, but they don't play with them. What do? They go to dog park.
Yeah.
And dogs are going to go back to where they get that reinforcement. And if it's through other dogs chasing squirrels, birds, whatever, that's where they're going to go. Right. And we see a huge problem with that, because even when we work with people, like for an instance, I'll give you an example. We work with a lot of people, right? Our dogs as a dog trainers to teach that dog to engage with the owner, right? To want to be with the owner and interact with them and be well-mannered, right? But it's like, there's so many times I'm working with an owner and I'm like, okay, here we've talked marker training. I'm like, okay, free dog, whatever, let your dog be free. But if the dog chooses to stay with you, like reinforce it or just, keep walking. And what do? Go play. I'm like, you just hired me to teach your dog to stay close to you. And now you're like pushing and forcing your dog away from you. I'm like, if it's choosing to stay there, like, hell, I mean, reward it. Like, just tell him good dog, whatever. If the dog decides to wander off in a little bit, you can recall it later, but you've told them it can be free. But if they're choosing to stay there, like, stop trying to push them away.
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive. And I'm like, why did you do that? Because I want them to go play and have fun. This is their time.
Yeah.
I was like, but dude, this is what he's telling you. This is, so, or whenever somebody gives their dog a break, then they start juking their dog. And I'm just like, don't, I don't want them I don't want them preferring the break over the drill. I want it to be the same exact.
Correct.
energy and let that dog like have fun, but also it's just this ongoing conversation. Hey, Maple, come here. Little girl, she's got
Well,
an obsession on cats right now.
oh
This
yeah.
little one, so she's
Well, another example there is like I was on a dog Facebook page that's a local one here, and it was like a lady's like, "Hey guys, come up to the whatever dog park here in the Dalles, right? My dog's dying to interact with dogs," and I'm like, "Just go interact with your dog." I'm like, this is a problem we see in the family world, right? Is like everyone just wants to go to the dog park and let other dogs train their dog, right? Instead of actually
and
going and doing something with their dog.
well, and that could be detrimental because
Yeah,
if something happens that hurts that animal, guess what? You
correct.
brought them to that place that caused them a lot of pain, and you weren't there to protect them when they were being postured. Oh, Linda's dipping out already. But she says dogs don't need to go on
Yes,
a safari. They need to learn how to pay attention to their handlers. Owners need to learn how to engage with their dogs, not the other way around.
correct.
Have a good night, Linda. Love you.
Yeah, I mean it's true, and I tell my clients all the time, like in the past, right when I first started training, right, everything was like structure, structure, structure on leash walks. Like you must be anal about it, and I've changed that so much because I focus on structure everywhere else with the dogs, right, with engagement and play, and tethering and doing different things that. I actually tell a lot of my owners, like, I don't care, or clients, like, I don't care if you ever walk your dog again. Like, I really don't.
Say that
I'm like,
again, man.
I could care less if my clients ever walk their dog again. Like, I really could care less. Like, it's not important to me. I'm like, I want you to go interact with your dog. I want you to go for a bike ride with your dog. I want you to play fetch with your dog, play tug with your dog, use your food and play food games, lure with your dog, free shape, whatever it is. Go do that instead of trying to go for this 20-30 minute walk. But humans are ingrained, like it's ingrained in our brain that what do we have to do if we get a dog? Where's the camera? 20-minute walks a day. Right? It's like what everyone says, I got to do my 20-minute walks a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. I'm like, man, stop. You're doing more harm than good. I'm like, just go out and play with your dog. Right? But people can't, they don't know how to play. Like they don't know how to interact with their dogs.
Well, and I think a lot of times I told this gal, I need you to connect with your dog. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what I mean, damn it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like an esoteric type of feeling, like you just connect with them. But do you know what it means, man? It means to just get to know that animal, just to
Yeah.
be with that dog and to lay all expectations down and to just let both of you just experience the same space for a prolonged period of time and let that relationship kind of unfold organically,
Yeah.
right? But
But
also be
people
there
have a
for
hard time
boundaries.
with that, right?
Well,
They,
boundaries, that's the
yeah.
other thing that I say, like, be there for boundaries. Like, if that dog starts going over there and
Well, put
sniffing
your
in that
phone down,
trash, yeah, put
right?
that
Like
phone.
put your phone down and sit there with your dog and be with your dog, right? Instead of being at the park on your phone and letting your dog just do whatever.
Mhm.
Right. I think that's
Checked out.
they're checked out. So why would the dog pay attention?
Yeah.
Right. If you walk with a purpose, the dogs usually are like, oh, hey, where's that person going? I want to follow.
Do you know how I know that? Because of that GoPro.
Yeah, there you go.
Where my dog's out there, dude. And I've looked, and that's where maybe people need to do that shit. Maybe people need to put a GoPro on their dog and let them be in like a contained area or something, just so they can see how much their dog. But sometimes, dude, I think that my clients, because I raise my dogs like where I do hang out with them quite a bit,
Yeah.
and that's why they're so connected into me. Where like a lot of times I get to my clients and I tell them the dog's down the block before we're off the front porch.
Yeah.
Their mind, their awareness is way down there, and we need it to be here with us. And so that's one of the first things I work with is how do we get that dog's center of awareness to focus on us, regardless of what's going on in this environment, right? And And they're like, "That's why you're here." And I'm like, "That's why I'm here too." Like,
Yep. Well, and
but
I tell clients all the time, like the number one problem that I see in dogs isn't necessarily aggression, reactivity, whatever, recalls. It's lack of engagement. The dogs don't want to engage, right? And I mean, you see it. It's like, but the dog does everything when I'm inside the house. I'm like, well,
that's the comfort
yeah,
zone.
there's your aquarium. I'm
That's
like,
what we call aquarium. Yeah.
step outside. And the moment you step outside, the dog's hunting, the dog's off
Or shut down.
or shut down, right? And now it can't focus, it can't think because all it's doing is going, the world's going to kill me.
And then they're like, "That's why I need to walk them."
Yeah. I need, my dog is, fearful or aggressive. I need to go to the dog park and socialize, right? My dogs need socialization. I'm like, no, man, your dog's over socialized. Like,
some people, what do they call it? Diseased fight clubs.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Well, just know, man, if you don't have connection with somebody and you're just kind of scattered, that it's not going to be fulfilling. But when you do have somebody that you do have that connection with, man.
Well, that's a great point too there, Bill, is that obviously we know like the connection goes both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell clients, like, it's interesting because I grew up on a huge farm in upstate New York, right? My mom still rides horses every day. Cows, I'm a big farm boy in reality. And in the horse world, you see horses come and go, right? People get a horse, they might have it for a year or so, rehome it, they get a new one. Like, it's constant, like rehoming. And a lot of that is about a connection. I bonded with the horse, but the horse didn't bond with me.
Interesting.
Right? Or the horse, like the bond just wasn't quite there for what they needed. And so you see horses kind of being sold and traded a decent amount, where in the dog world, if you get a dog and you rehome it, we'll go back to that shaming that you had mentioned. You see people get shamed, right? They post that dog they're going to try to rehome because it's not fitting their lifestyle, and people light them up.
Well, dude, and that was the number one thing about people. How come you can't bond with your dog? Like that, when I saw the complaints on Reddit on these people hiring. No, knock it off. Get over here. Sorry, you guys.
Consequences.
Yeah. That's what they would mention, the bond.
Yeah.
Right.
And people get shamed for that stuff, for rehoming, even though they may have a great connection with the dog, but the dog doesn't have a connection with them. Yes. I mean, I've rehomed a lot of dogs. You've been there. I mean, hell, Kelly's on here. She's rehomed dogs to me sometimes.
I've rehomed dogs. I'm looking for homes for a couple of dogs that I've had for, almost a year now.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I think that needs to become a little bit more of the norm, where if the dog doesn't fit your lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with finding it a better home.
Yeah, somebody else can serve this dog better, and that's what I know. And so that's my job, is to find that person that can serve this dog better.
Correct.
And I have the people lined up and stuff, and they're excited, and I'm excited, and that's just the way it is, man. And I know, like, even you got one of my dogs, and Onyx, dude, I love that dog, and I was like, but it's so cool because that these dogs are going to have an awesome life, man.
Yep.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, is like, as professionals, the more dogs that we undertake, but also the more dogs that we own as professionals. And I got a lot, man. I got a lot more than I should. That's what Bart Bellin was telling me. He's like, dude, are you a hobbyist or are you a dog trainer? And I'm like, shut up, Bart.
Yeah.
I love Bart, dude. I love that guy, man.
Those guys are awesome, man. I need to reach out to them. The last 6 months of my life has been hell. So it's a lot of changes, things happening. So it's just been hard.
Well, just know I'm at 13, dude. I'm below you. Oh. I was above you, Kelly. I was above you.
I have one right now. One. And I'm happy with that. First time in a very long time. But granted, I'm going to get another one tomorrow. So
Kelly wins.
Yeah, no.
I'm 13. Never going to have that many dogs again in my life.
No, you'll be divorced. I think she was close to that when I was up there.
Yeah, whatever. It's doggy land, you know. No, it's been like this for quite a while, bro. And you know, and not only that, but relationships are one of even human relationships,
Oh man.
right? Are one of the hardest dynamics of the human condition, right? And so those constantly need reevaluation. And when
Well,
we look at the word respect, that's what like spectare is, to look or to see through, and to is to do again or take another. So it's basically respect means to take another look,
yeah.
right?
And that's, I mean, that's huge right there. And when you look at that relationship side, yeah, I have 3 dogs, Maria.
Look at her little emoticon.
Oh yeah, I know. God damn it. But when you look at that, like the relationship and in the human world, I'm actually going to bring up Mark Oppenheimer, who I think, again, like I had mentioned, how he's done a very good job creating his business and working with certain people and dogs. You know, is he's doing a good job as staying as a coach.
He's an educator, dude, and that's
He's
what he
a
was.
coach and educator, and he's maintaining it, where you or I, Kelly, you know, George, there's a
We're
lot of
shit
times
shows.
where we're the therapist, because people come to us because they're their dog, but the relationship between the couple is very off, right? And that's part of the problem with the dynamic of the dog in them.
Yeah.
Right. And you become a therapist instead of a coach.
And sometimes you got to have them seek a therapist for real, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had to do that with people. I'm like, look, I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you how much I've benefited from seeking professional mental help, you know?
Yeah.
And I would encourage that for you in this situation, because this is way beyond the scope of my pay grade. And I was frankly
There's a
am
lot more
afraid.
playing into the picture here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm afraid, and I'm leaving now. I'm out of here. You know, sometimes people behavior scares the shit out of me, dude, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, but it's just weird. I mean, I study human behavior, but the unpredictable nature of it, right? The randomness, like that's, and not only that, but to know that, look, dude, there's dark, there's evil in this world, man, and to not know about it gives the evil and the darkness an advantage. And so we have to know about it, but we don't
Yeah.
obsess about it, right? We just like we were talking, to kind of going down the rabbit hole of what burns us out, and why literally you're changing focus on
Yeah.
where,
Changing stuff here.
yeah,
Yeah.
into working dogs from the pet dog world. Um, but there's also that aspect of, man, there's a reason why we traded our lives to work with these dogs. And
Yeah. And spent years doing it, right? Again, I'm 10 years in, but in reality, in this business, 10 years is nothing, right? I
yeah,
consider myself still a very new trainer. And it just take there's so much to absorb and so much to learn, and how it's never ending. It's that onion, you're just peeling back layers, and as soon as you think you hit one, it's like, oh my god, it collapses out from under you, and you're trying to figure out something else. But that's part of it, and that's what we also love about it, right?
yeah, dude. Like I was walking a dog home the other day, and this dog was hardly trained at all. And I didn't train it, I was just watching this dog.
Yeah.
And uh it was a beautiful day. It was Mother's Day, and I was dropping the dog off. And as I'm walking the dog, and this is in Medina, and I don't know if you guys know, like Medina is where Bill Gates lives. Super freaking ritzy, fancy area, dude. And the dog, I'm walking the dog back to their house, and then a bunny crosses our path, and the dog runs after it, and it has a flexi lead, and the flexi lead snaps. And bro, I'm off after that dog.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
in a sprint. Yeah.
like I gotta get this dog, dude. Like I'm the only. So just so you guys know, like your most peaceful, beautiful, day with a golden retriever or whatever dog, like, it just comes from the most unexpected, like, chaos
Yeah.
comes from the most unexpected place, and do you know what I was saying, dude? I'm like, I caught the dog after I ran through, like, who God knows whose property, and, like, just
Yeah.
barreling over hedges and shit, just grabbing
Well,
the dog,
hell.
and, dude, I say to myself, "I need to find a new career," like
Yeah. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, earlier on in my career, when I met Kelly, actually, she'll remember this because she was there. I blame her for this, actually. I will say
You better be
that.
listening still, Kelly.
I blame you, Kelly, for that. We were in Battleground, Washington. We were at a seminar. It's where I met Kelly. I had a super crazy dog aggressive, somewhat human aggressive dog with me in the back of my truck. We went to a state park and I was getting ready to hook the dog up and let it out before we all went to dinner. And this is why I blame Kelly, because
She's listening, so just comment.
good. I had popped the kennel open, like, and my hand was against it, and Kelly had asked a question. And like I turned and like looked to talk to her, and this dog fucking muzzle punched the kennel door and was gone in a state park, human dog aggressive. And I'm like, oh my God. And this is at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever, 6 o'clock.
Oh my God.
I didn't catch the dog until 1:30 in the morning. It was not epic, Kelly. It was not epic.
We'll read that later, but here, yeah, it was epic.
Oh, man.
So listen to this too. So I got one too, and we're gonna do a dog trainer confessional, you guys. So you got these stories. We're gonna line them up, and we're just gonna do this one of these days. So I just bought this aquarium shop, bro. Like I bought a fish business, and I'm breeding fish, and I got it all here, and I'm stoked on it. I love it. I got a good deal on it, and I always do the dogs, so it's not going to take over what I do with the dogs. It's just a hobby. Now I just have every tool and equipment and every resource that I can imagine for it. And so I'm over there, and we have this place called the Aquarium Co-op, which is a really high-end, or not high-end, but really popular aquarium store in Edmonds, Washington. And right next door to it, there's a dog wash. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run in, and I have 4 of my dogs with me, and I'm going to run in, and I'm going to look at what fish they got, and I'm just going to see what they got and scout it out. And so I go in there, and I'm talking to the people, and next thing I know, this person comes over from the dog wash, is like, hey, who's driving the Camry, the Toyota Camry? And I'm like, that's mine. He's like, yeah, a dog just jumped out of the window.
Oh, Jesus.
And took off. And I'm like, what? And dude, I look at the windows like, my little dogs.
Yeah.
And so they got one of them, Alder, my skipper key, dude. The dad, Onyx's dad.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what? Where'd they go? And she's like, he just ran that way.
Oh.
And then we're in Edmonds, which is a busy road and stuff. So I just yell Alder, and he comes back. He does a recall. And so I'm like, damn, dude. And then I go in there, and I put him in the car. I roll up the window. But what I didn't see is, as I was rolling the window, one of the dogs was standing on the other window rolling it down. And so I was looking at this window rolling it up, and the other window in the back was rolling
it down.
And so I go in there, I go back into the aquarium store, and I'm talking to the guy, and they're like, hey, a dog just jumped out of the car. And I'm like, no, I already got him. And they're like, no, 2 more just jumped out. Dude. And so I go out there, and I'm like, where'd they go? And they're like,
You're like,
one went that way and one went that way. And then I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, I'm just showing you, like, this is just random dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think that you want to get into the industry because it's a nice, calm, stress-free,
it is not. That was one of the most stressful nights of my life.
Dude, I'm getting stressed already, bro.
Right. And Kelly knows it well. She was there. She'll remember that. She remembers that.
She's like, I was like, who is this guy? He just lost a dog.
And it was your fault, Kelly. It was your fault.
What kind of dog was it?
It was some like pity mix.
Oh, damn.
Human dog aggressive in a state park with people and dogs running around.
You were
In the
just
middle of
waiting to hear.
battleground, like,
You're waiting to hear the commotion and be like, "There, I'm running that."
oh, there's coyotes going off in the middle of the night. There's gunfire. I'm like, I
How did
have
you
no
find
idea.
him?
Well, the dog hadn't ate for 3 days, so it was hungry. And so we had set up a kennel, everything, and the dog was staying close. Eventually, after it settled, it kind of hung out and would kind of come close, but you couldn't catch it. It was like, it's not coming near you.
That's skittish. Okay.
So we set up a kennel, and some random people were trying to help me at one point. The dog ended up going into the kennel, but when we slammed the door shut, there was a lady helping me. The dog powered right through and was gone again. And so eventually I sat there. It was in like September, so it got cold at night. I had like multiple pants on, multiple
Like
jackets on.
That sounds that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it was. And I'm sitting there, and eventually at like 1:30 in the morning, I'm just leaning up against the posts, like dozing off. The dog came up and rested its head in my lap. And I just grabbed that thing and I mean, I was
sorry, folks.
I was like, man, you are going in this kennel.
Like, I'm pouncing on your ass, dude. I'm squeezed like, it's like,
it came right up and like nuzzled into me.
Boom.
I couldn't believe
Got
it.
you. Yeah, well, I think the dog was ready too. So Kelly says, I partly left a business because I wanted to attract a different client. I don't want to fix dogs. That's right, dude. That's why I'm back. And like, I'm getting back into this, and I took a year off. Isn't it cool that we can leave this business and come back? I want to change the human lens on the pet dog. Yeah. Humans are annoyed and inconvenienced by every natural dog behavior. Good job, Kelly.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely amazing. And I really look forward to seeing your journey and where you go with that, Kelly, because I think, I mean, hats off to you. It's really hard for people to do that. I've kind of restructured my business multiple times. I'm in the middle of it again. Going to do more boarding and daycare just to keep money coming in while we can kind of venture off and train kind of in our passion, right? And it's like, if I could start from scratch with everything again and again, it would be like, if I was to stay in the family, it would be focused on puppies, right? And
well, mine is I want to do a lot of this content creator stuff,
Yeah. Right. Everyone has a different approach to it. And and content's a huge one.
Yeah. And so I set up a Patreon page. Let me see. I got to share it. If you guys want to support me, I'm still waiting for my very first Patreon person. But dude, I'm going to keep doing it, man. And I'll keep doing these. And not only that, but I have like 111 or 112 of these interviews already. So if you guys want to support me with a monthly payment and help me fulfill my dream of being a content creator in the dog industry, where I want to make it so I can actually go to different facilities, meet and talk with trainers.
That's nice.
And have some camera people with me. And so I have some big dreams, man, but it's going to take some money to do that. And I just need people to see the vision that I have. And I think that it will happen. I just have to be patient, and I'm just getting back into it, man. After a year of being out, and after a couple of years of not even doing any of these live streams with the Corona shit. And but yeah, so if you guys want to support me at Patreon, I put the link there. You can $5 all the way up to whatever, man. You can, and I'm open to doing different rewards too. But let's just make it happen, man. I want to introduce the world to wonderful people that are good at what they do and aren't going to swindle you, and
speak the truth.
And speak the truth, man. And that's the bottom line, man, is being truthful and taking accountability, not just for who we are, but the life that we want to live. And that's why it's good that Matt's like pivoting into a totally different direction. Same thing with Kelly, and same thing with myself. Is like, dude, we know, and a lot of times it's our soul, just like Matt said, it eats my soul, man. Like, it's our soul waking us up and being like, dude, I can't do this, man. Like, I can't do this anymore. It feels,
and you kind of lose your,
no more boarding trains.
Yeah.
So right, listen to this.
Is brutal.
Well, hold that thought. So you kind of hold that one thought so we can do this, but and no more boarding and training. So listen to this, you guys. Okay, this and this is where I want to talk to new people, and like, this is what happens to you. This was the most stressful part, housing dogs overnight. Fucking A, dude. I'm 100% obsessed with horse training and paying to subscribe to several trainers right now. Okay. The subscription and clinic business that most horse trainers do is the way to go. None of them board and train horses, clinics, and subscriptions. Dude, let's, Kelly, we need to talk because you guys know that I own dogcoach.com. And I want to make it a subscription to where people, so this is where eventually this will all lead to is going to be a subscription service where people can have access to dog coaches. And I call it dog coach because it's not necessarily about obedience all the time. Sometimes it's that rehabilitation work that we've done is just coaching you through some nutrition. Sometimes it's coaching you through puppy rearing. Sometimes it's coaching you through whelping puppies. Sometimes it's coaching you through selecting the right dog for you and your family, right? And there's so much. I just think that there's a void in the world, and let's chat, Kelly. I want to do a live stream with you anyway. We're due for one of those, and I want to chat. We'll talk about these clinics and subscriptions because that's exactly where I want to go.
Something to add on top of that is obviously in today's age, a lot more people are trying to do like virtual dog training, right? Where they're coaching, and a lot of people do not think it works. And if you have the right coach, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, I've had a lot of success.
They can change you, right? Yep. And I mean, I've seen it. You know, I work with Catherine Smith as well, who's also like Mark's coach, things like that. And she's awesome. She's amazing. And if you stick with, I mean, a good coach, it doesn't matter where they are, right? Well, and I imagine that's somewhat similar to horses, probably a little harder in that sense, just because you got to be out, you know, in the barn with the horse and everything. But with the dog, it's like you can do it inside the house and you can get phenomenal results.
I think it makes it almost too easy sometimes when the business model that is current, it doesn't make, I don't know if I'm going to, let me think about how to word this. Because you do need to be invested, even with these clinics and these subscriptions. Like there is a baseline of knowledge that you need to obtain on your own. And a lot of times people go to somebody, and especially in person, and I think that it's because of maybe the schooling system that we have, the declarative sentence, like accepting of fact and not doing your due diligence and investigation yourself, right? That they come in and they expect you to do it all.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, I can only do so much and point you in the direction. You need to be invested and have this baseline of knowledge so we can take it to the next level. And that's where like the obedience work, that's what I call a foundation work. What's up, Catherine? And good for you too, Kelly. I love you, Kelly. I miss you. And we gotta let me know, Kelly, if you're coming up here. Let's do dinner again. They got a lot of restaurants that have closed in the last few years, but virtual training has surprised the pants off me. Done right, very effective. Yep. And I've been doing a lot of virtual training, and
I don't do any, but I do know it works well.
Well, dude, I was so surprised, man. I was surprised, and I'm proud of my people, you know. And what works best too is that if we could do virtual training, but they've also have somebody that we can work with too, right? And if you do any virtual training with me, videotape it is so helpful. And I do offer one-on-one virtual training. If you're interested, just contact me or message me down below. I'll set up a Zoom call for you. I charge $100 an hour, and I like to do an hour. I can do $50 for a half an hour if you just want kind of an
half hour goes so fast when you're talking things, though. It's like it's really almost pointless because by the time you get into a little bit of information, you're already at a half hour.
He's on the other side of the country.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested, let me know. I mean, I do that quite a bit, and I've had a lot of success at it. So, but it also helps. Like one, I said, if you videotape it, and two, it helps too if you've already have kind of a baseline of knowledge that, hey, Kelly, if you're still there, look at who I got right here.
Oh man, those skipper keys.
Dude, Kelly's got her sister.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Moccasin. This is Pecan. Here, Pecan.
Oh man.
Let's see if she'll do the. Hey. Pecan. Hold.
Yeah, there you go.
Up.
She was on it.
Hold.
Unforced
Release.
fetch right there.
Good girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Pecan, you're good. You saw her. Dude, if you do come back out here, you got to bring Moccasin because they're nuts. And listen, Kelly, Dawn has a picture of Moccasin on her cover of her iPad, and I'm like, that's not Pecan, right? She's like, I don't care. So Moccasin.
That's even better.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, we have our own little dynamic of dogs at our little network.
Oh, getting all Kelly's dogs and your dogs together would just be.
Oh, we have
total chaos,
dude. It's total chaos, dude.
Oh my
It's so rad. What I love about it is like Kelly, it's like I went into the coffee shop and look what I come back out to, and there's a big old log on the center console, you know. And that's it, man. Like we as dog trainers, we don't have a perfect life with our dogs. Just so you guys know, man. Like it is chaotic, and not only that, but the chaos seems to come out of freaking
the worst times.
Well, of course.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
But the least expected place. Like you're like, oh, look at that flower, and then a dog breaks his flexi lead, and you're off running on a full sprint. Hey, JD, cool. Oh, JD
17.
wins.
Yo, man.
Rottweilers too.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, JD's the man. If you guys don't know JD, he's on. I don't know if you're on Facebook or not, but
I was actually just looking. I thought was going to be my next dog was a Rottie. I was gonna a colleague of ours from Napopo, actually, Denise. I can't remember her last name. She's out of California. Out of California. She's getting ready to breed one of her dogs, which is just an amazing little Rottie.
Yeah, she's got great dogs.
Yeah.
Not good for me. Hey, he's on YouTube, you guys. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I am attempting to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then when you're at YouTube, if you wouldn't mind liking, and what else do we do? Subscribe, right? And ring the bell. There's a bell that you can ring too. That
I don't know any
get
of that
all
stuff,
my
man.
content. And I don't either. I'm finding out, but I just know that I need to get to 1,000 so I can monetize it, and then the next step, and then I want to do a membership site there as well. But you just keep trucking, dude. Keep trucking, keep producing the content, keep speaking the truth.
Yep.
And so what advice do you have for people? Answer comments. Okay, I'll answer comments.
What advice do I have for people?
The new people that are getting in.
New trainers?
Yeah.
Man, take your time. Learn as much as you can. And actually, probably one of the biggest things is find someone that you admire, that you believe in, and learn from them and master their skills or your skills from them before you go to somebody else. I think we bounce around so much as trainers trying to get the next best thing. Oh my God, this person has this or that person does this. Find a system that you like from whoever it's from and take your time and actually learn it.
Be thorough with it. Be present with it.
Like, I mean, and that's what I love. You know, we've both been through Napopo, and, you know, Bart's like, it takes 5 years to really master, like, if you're doing it every single day, right? And really doing it with a lot of dogs. And for me, it's going to take much longer than 5 years just because I'm getting bounced around still, you know, doing different things. And it takes time. But what I see so much is people go, okay, I'm going to go to Napopo. Oh, I'm going to go with Ivan. I'm going to go Michael Ellis. I'm going to go over here. And they bounce from trainer to trainer to trainer. And now they get kind of thrown in different areas.
Well,
right? And I see that just from online stuff.
Well, the contradictions.
I get it too.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
the contradiction become blaring, and then you start to focus on the contradictions instead of the philosophy.
And then you get lost
And
because
then
you're
you
like,
get
I
lost.
don't know which one is better, right? Or should I try this? Should I try that? And you have to kind of find that one system. And again, I'll give props out to Mark Oppenheimer on that. He's really trying to master a system, and he's doing a good job with it. And he's put his head down, because when he got into this business, he was everywhere, right? And he's found his lane. He's focusing on it. He's learning a true system and staying on top of it.
Energy flows where focus goes.
I like it.
Right? And
Yep.
so be focused. Whenever we learn from somebody, there's a 3-part process. I like to think of it as a trivium or trinity in a lot of aspects of life. But the 3-part process of learning is, first, you're going to prepare to receive the teachings, and then the teachings happen, and then you process. Right. And that processing, I think, falls short in a lot of people, because there's a lot of great teachers out there, man. And not only that, but this technological revolution has brought about access to so much information that it almost is incapable to be absorbed in the amount that is coming out to us by our mind. Right. That's why I cannot wait to inject my brain with chips so I could, no, just kidding. The merger, Elon. Help me understand everything, Elon. No, but that's it, man. It's like we have to realize that our conscious mind, whenever our conscious mind starts to get overwhelmed by too much stimulus in the environment, it starts to default to the subconscious mind, right? Where the subconscious mind can start to process it. But in doing so, it changes our brain wave patterns. And we go from alpha to sometimes what's called a high beta, which is a reactionary type of modality, right? And to be aware of that is the first step. And second step is to stop doing that.
Yeah. And be open-minded.
And be open-minded, man. And know, look, man, we all have something to teach each other, and we all have something to learn from each other. And
and there's a million ways up the mountain, and you have to find your way, right? And again, if we talk about Bart and Michael, one of, I think, the greatest things with Bart and Michael, and I'm just bringing them up as they're, both, we've known them, we've worked with them.
Both mentors of ours,
and
yes.
Yeah, they're, mentors of ours and I think one of the greatest things that I can think about when it comes to Bart and Michael is that by them being so open-minded, you will never, ever hear them talk down on another system, right? And that's, in the dog world, you don't see that. And I respect them so damn much for that, because they're open-minded. And for them, they have their system. It's beautiful. You and I both know it and how it works, and it's fantastic. But for them, they don't care how you get to the top, as long as the dog performs on cue with heart and soul.
Yep.
And I think that is just amazing to see and hear in the dog world, because there's too many trainers out there that bash and do things. Yes, or that doesn't work, right? And you have to just be open-minded in this industry and be willing to learn from anybody. Bart's not afraid to say he learned something from you or I, right? How many people at that level do you hear say that?
Well, it's refreshing, dude.
It's mind-blowing to me. And I think it's so important. And that's where, like, clients come into me, and there's times I learn from them, right?
Absolutely.
And you have to be open-minded with that stuff. And you just have to, see that there's a lot of different ways up. And in the end, again, I love that, just, like how that Bart and Michael say, in the end, it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as the dog performs on cue with heart and soul.
Well, belong to a good network of people too, man.
Yes.
And know that, look, this technology allows us to, network with each other and cooperate. But also know that you're going to be met with some circumstances that you're not going to know what to do.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, John. Johnny boy. What's up? What's up there, little buddy?
Yeah, buddy.
My good
I got to
buddy.
get up and see you sometime. I got to make it back up there if I ever get some free time.
Come on up, man. You can
Go
crash
see
with
both
me.
you guys.
You can
Yeah.
crash up here. I got a room for you anytime, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll let my little idiots run all over you. They'll be like, sick 'em. But you're going to be confronted with stuff that you don't know what to do with. You stuff are cases that you just are going to be perplexed, and it's going to behoove you to have a network of people that you can kind of have in the background that you can bring about some questions, or just like some observations that might. And sometimes it's just to reassure that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's to reassure that Johnny is crazy. Bill's army of tiny heathens.
True.
Dude, you need to come up here too, John. And I'll stick them on you.
You know, with that being said too, Bill, it's knowing your limitations. Right.
Well,
we see too many young trainers taking on dogs that they cannot handle, or they should even be touching, because they'll never be able to handle that dog at that moment. Not saying they will never not be able to, but in that moment, that dog is way too much dog for them.
And you need to understand that you can make the situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the best substitute for knowledge is silence.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I tell people, especially at the beginning, man, because you are going to be put into a role where you are going to be sought for the knowledge that you have. But there's going to be, especially at the beginning, there's going to be holes in your knowledge because you don't have the experience. And as an expert, that experience is the root of that word. Or excuse me, expert and experience have the same root. And don't speak out your ass. You know, sometimes it can make the situation worse, man. And sometimes I've heard situations or some things that I've just so perplexed by recommendations that another trainer has made that has made the situation a lot worse. And I'm just like, man, this is not. And I explained to the client, this is what, and I said, and I'll even explain to the client before they're even finished talking. I'll be like, let me guess what happened.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah.
All the time.
And I'm like, well, here's why that happened. And here's, you know, what I recommend. But a lot of times these clients have invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort.
Many different trainers.
Yep. And so many different trainers.
I'm usually the third or fourth trainer people come to.
Don't talk to me about like, that's Johnny. Sorry, Johnny. Love you. Yeah, third or fourth trainer, man. And some of these people, they're selling packages that are in the thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And so I get it. I definitely get it. And that's why I want to produce content. That's why I want to get out there. I want to meet people, rub shoulders, meet dogs, and talk to them, and let people judge for themselves by watching these, and just kind of resounding with people that know what they're doing, man. We've all traded our lives to work with dogs. But there's incongruences that need to be addressed. There's observations that I've made. And as we reapproach into this industry, I want to do it right, man. And I want to make sure that we focus on the benefit of the animal.
Yep.
I want to talk.
Dropping the ego with that, you know, when you think of like the benefit of the animal, right? It's trainers have to drop their damn egos.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
Right. And then know that, I mean, the ego, people just let that ego run their life. Right. And I tell people the ego is a tool.
Yeah, it's like, that's where you said silence. So sorry, I was saying like, that's where you said like silence sometimes is the best thing, right? Yes. Where it's like, I was just recently, like when I was at Huffman, looking at like going to NAPO post school and stuff, it's like, man, I sit there and I don't even want to open my mouth. Like, I just want to take in everything. I'm like, I'm going to just let you guys talk. I don't need to ask questions right now. I'm like, just let me listen and let me listen to you speak, because it's impressive.
Well, they don't even allow questions.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're like, no, listen, we got so much. Yeah. Dropping the ego requires true self-reflection. And then, which is uncomfortable. Many people avoid that like the
Ooh,
plague. Yeah, discomfort is uncomfortable, you know.
yep. Get
Um,
comfortable being uncomfortable.
but the thing is too, and if you guys want to hear where I'll get philosophical, is the ego is that tool of separateness. And so the ego like is a tool, but it's also something that we actually need to have our separateness, to be monads, the pinpoints of experience, um, as we are experiencing life on this plane of existence. So let me give you an example. If Matt and I were sitting at a table together and we didn't have an ego, there would be nothing stopping me from taking the food on my plate and shoving it into Matt's mouth, because we would not have that separateness. If we were walking through a forest and we heard a tree branch break, there would be nothing to stop us from getting out of the way, because we would be
Yeah.
one with that, you know. And so the ego is it just becomes all powerful, and people, it's like a hammer. It's a tool. It's just that
Yep.
people try to get the hammer to be the foreman of the job site, and it's like, dude, it doesn't work that way. The ego is a tool, but it's that tool of separateness, so we can know ourselves. And to know yourself takes some vulnerability and takes some discomfort.
Yeah.
And you know what? To correct a dog takes some discomfort, right? To put boundaries on an animal is uncomfortable. But doing what's right doesn't always feel good.
No, it doesn't. Right. But it's what's right.
Yeah. And you know the why behind it, right? We're instilling
Correct.
life lessons. We're giving this dog an opportunity that they can calm themselves, and it's going to benefit this animal in many different situations in their lives.
Hmm.
And you know, we want to practice being bored with our dogs. We don't want the pinpoint of chaos. And that's where it starts, man. It's just kind of, you know, getting a different idea of, and let me go back up here, what Kelly was saying, um, the human lens on the pet dog. You know, we don't want to fix dogs. Dogs are
No,
fine, man. They're dogs, dude.
they're dogs. Exactly.
Dogs are
Yeah.
dogs, man. They're all here sitting there being dogs. They're all laying on my couch.
Yeah. We're unfortunately, people are trying to change a dog, take a
That's
dog
right. We
from
don't
one
want to
thing and make
fix
it
dogs,
something
dude.
else.
I don't want to fix dogs, dude. I
Yeah.
gotta put this back up here, man.
Yeah.
I partly
It's
left the
fixing
business,
humans.
well, to change the lens, you
Yeah.
know, and that's a great analogy. We got to talk here, Kelly. I'll get a hold of you, and we'll
Yeah.
in the next week or two, because we definitely have to get into this, and that's one of my passions too. And as I have in my dogcoach.com, I have 1,000-year plan. And so I don't want it to be me. I want it to be here long after I'm gone. I want to build a legacy
Yeah.
that can help dogs, and we can figure this out, man. It's a man-made problem, so we can figure it out because we're humans and we're man. And you know, it's just changing that lens, and through our experiences and our observations as professionals, I think that that's the way
It's
to
going
do
to
it.
be a hard thing to do, right? Because, in my opinion, the world's obviously changed and people have changed, and we're
Well,
getting softer lots of times,
in some ways,
and
it's
we
going to
get
be
soft
hard.
on dogs.
Well, in some ways, it's going to be hard, but some ways it's going to be easy too, dude, because I think we just need the right people. And
Oh,
people just like, dude, just like homeboy that you just learned from,
over at Huffman.
Jensen,
Jensen, yeah.
dude, chemical engineer. Organic chemistry was, I couldn't fucking do it, dude. Like, and I was like, I was in calculus, I was in all the, and I'm like, how is this? How can I not get
Yeah.
this? Like, there's just
You
like,
should talk to him, man. He's an
yeah,
amazing, I mean, that guy,
but
hands
projects.
down
So,
him, man.
and Jenny and I were talking about, they just built a Amazon distribution center over here, and you should see this freaking building, dude. Like, there's some of the largest buildings on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how many moving parts there is there? Do you know how much how much this project management,
The infrastructure there is insane.
and that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need in dog industry. That's what we need, is some people with fresh eyes to come in here and to kind of be like, look, like, it's obviously broken
It
because we're
is.
putting these dogs down, and these Dog, whatever. There's so many variables of or derivatives that show us, look, this is broken, right? Because this
Yeah,
is,
and
you
that's
know,
where I think it's, unfortunately, a lot of the community that's out there running that dog side right now, it's sad to say, when it's death before discomfort, it's a sad thing. When we can save dogs and we can, change the way dogs live and change the infrastructure on it,
yeah.
it doesn't take that much.
Well, it also changing the lens, like Kelly was saying,
Yeah. Yes.
and just
People
being
need to
like,
see a different picture.
yeah. Well, and it's gonna take some time, man, but I'm dedicated.
Yep. Yeah,
You
I
know,
think most of us are, right? That's why we're here doing what we're doing and hanging in as long as we possibly can. We're not, we're not here just to make a living, right? We're here because we truly love what we do. We're passionate about the dogs, passionate about helping people and educating people. And that's the important part.
well, and even though you've been working with dogs 10 years, but if we look at dogs' history with man,
Oh,
it
yeah.
goes back, and it's been argued that we wouldn't be where we are as a civilization without the help of our four-legged friends.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer in reincarnation, man. I'm a believer in past lives. I think that maybe, some of us might have worked with dogs previously, and that this is something that seeds the passion that we have in this life, because there's something that is intrinsic and intuitive, and there's just this white hot desire that I've had since I was a kid to work with these animals.
Yeah.
And and I'm fulfilled doing it. I love them. And then when I go out, I mean, not all the time,
Yeah. Well,
but I go out and hang out with my dogs, or whatever. But there's something in my soul, right? Just like, and that's what I like what you were saying about eating your soul. And we need to speak on this on a soul level, because I think that that's where it resounds.
yeah, and again, it's not usually the dogs that create that eating of the soul. It's
the people.
It's the people, right? And so
it's the soul eaters.
It is, and it's like where it's like a lot of people that get out of the business. It's not because of the dogs; it's because of the people. Look at coaching in general. I coached high school lacrosse varsity level for 6 years, right? 3 years as an assistant coach, 3 years as a head coach, and I have watched, Hall of Fame coaches in the lacrosse industry leave because of parents, right? Not because of the kids. Their passion's there. The coach's passion and drive is there, but the parents create the problem by helicoptering, and the coach can't take it anymore. They can't coach how they want to, right? And how they used to. And it makes it hard. And that's the dog world too. It's clients make it difficult sometimes because they don't want it as bad as us. And we have to learn how to work with that.
Well, I think that it's also defining who we want as clients.
And but it's hard for a lot of new trainers, right? Because, or even someone like me, I've got a big facility now. I got to make sure I got my employees paid. And
I was everybody to everybody everything to everybody when I first started. In fact, I even shaved a cat. Like I was like, dude, I'll shave your cat for $100, and I ended up freaking bonking heads with the dude because he was trying to catch his cat. And I'm like, dude, you got a half shaven cat? Give me $100, I'm out.
Yeah,
like this, dude. We whacked heads pretty good. Like I went down to get this cat, and the cat ran off, and he went down to get it. And we whacked heads, dude. It's like a shit show sometimes, you guys.
Yeah, it is.
There, I got long hair. I'm working on it. So I like the long hair, man. It's my COVID. But I think that I feel your passion, but I want to encourage you to keep going, man.
Oh yeah, I'm never gonna be out of the pet training world. Like I can't get out of it because I look at things and I see dogs there. Yeah, and
too, dude.
I see people struggling, and I can't physically help myself, but to want to help them. Right? It's who I am. So I'll never leave this industry, but I'm trying to step aside to get a little more passion back on where I would like to spend a lot of time with the working dogs and helping my local canine officers and stepping into that realm a little more, because that's always kind of been where my passion is. I've just never been able to fully grab a hold of it.
Well, now you're doing
So,
it,
which
man.
is what I'm trying. Yeah, we've got Justin Rigney coming out here in November
Really?
for
Okay.
for a seminar for kind of a police decoy seminar deal,
Okay.
which is going to be really cool. I'm really excited about that one,
Might have
just
to
to
come
get
down
more
there.
hands-on experience, things like that. So yeah, he'll be here in November, which I'm very excited about on that one. And that's where it's like I want to bring those types of people in to just learn more from, right? To get better at that stuff so I can become a better decoy, better trainer. And then the more I believe, the more you know on that stuff with decoying, creating aggression, right? The better you are at fixing aggression. Because if you understand how to create it and understand how to truly bring it out in a dog, you can also help take it away.
Well, not just bringing it out, but bringing it to you too. And
Yeah.
then seeing the nuances of aggression close up.
Correct. Yeah, you got to feel it.
And feeling
Right.
it. Yeah,
Especially
especially getting nailed. I'm like, dog. Speaking of getting nailed, John says, "My dogs love you, Bill." They think I am a smoky treat or a redheaded snack.
Yeah,
That's what these
yeah.
dogs do. But dude, I like getting just like, and you can see a good bite too, man, and how hard.
Oh, you should. If you go to my Facebook page,
boom, dude, they just walk
if you
down.
go to my Facebook page, you'll see after I finished that seminar with Huffman, my arm, I still have a little bit of a scab here.
Here, let's go there, dude. Let's
cruising
go.
along. You should be able to scroll down and find it. You'll see a very vicious bite, which was through a brand new training weight suit, right? And that was from a big German Shepherd who, I mean, got through and actually got teeth marks on me.
That's why I don't know about these the thin suits.
I just ordered one. But I did it because the dog feels more, right? It's better for the dog. And you can move better in it.
Okay. So
but I think I posted it on my Facebook page. If you scroll down,
there's David Goggins. You just shared one by David Goggins.
Oh yeah, I love that man.
That guy
He's
live hard.
The hell out of me.
Live hard.
But I have a photo of that picture. It's my arm's tore up.
I'm gonna see here. Share screen. Chrome tab. Your page.
Oh, did you find it?
This one here. Well, no, I'm going through your page here. Really. Is this your page here?
Yeah. Does it say Matt Luchsinger? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah. That's my page.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Rocking out.
There's
David. So if
David.
you scroll down, or it may have been in that.
In here?
Yeah, it's got to be maybe in some of those pictures.
Damn, look at that boy.
That may have been the one from the seminar. I think it's below that one.
Cool.
So I don't think that's
I'm still like it. That's the one right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
And then
so the one that got me was on the back side. Yeah, that was from my kid.
Sorry, I haven't.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine.
Right here?
No, keep going down. Man, where is it? It should be right below that. So yeah, go down. Keep going.
Oh, here's Huffman.
Yeah.
Canine obedience. Okay.
So that's some stuff there. There's Justin's
seminar.
Cool. It's got to be right below that, I would think. Oh, there's another one. Holy hell. Jesus, I don't know where the hell it is. Oh, wait. Yeah, right there. I mean, so you can see the teeth marks that dog got through a bite suit.
Damn, dude. And those are front teeth.
Yeah. So like the next day, like 3 days later, that whole arm was just purple.
Welcome to dog training. Yeah, I bet, man.
And that was a German Shepherd that actually their client of that dog was a regular, like she had bought a German Shepherd and just went to Huffman for training and ended up turning it into a protection dog.
Kemp wants to know what weight did you order?
I just ordered a new semi-comp, actually.
Damn. So I mean, there's got to be something like I've seen the things that they could put in the.
Like you put neoprene sleeves under, things like that. And again, this is like the decoy, and that's where Kemp actually up there, obviously a decoy
Cool.
Showing that, which is phenomenal, man. Like, I'd love to learn from you. I'm so new to this, as like really diving deep into it, but man, it is, you either love it or you hate it, right?
I need to
And for
talk to
me,
more
man,
decoys.
I love it. And the decoy is the one who does the training, right? A good decoy is going to build your dog, and that's what I'm trying to get better and better and better at. And I'm going to dive deep into it so I can become I want to become a really solid, helper. Not necessarily for sport the whole time, but I want to be able to help, my local canine officers and be out there in sport, whatever, if I'm protection, things like that. So,
yep, good thing to have, man. There's just like I was saying, bro, there's bad people in this world.
Oh man, it's really bad. And that's where I got to give, like Huffman, he's got a side business that is really, really, I think, special, where him and David, his trainer, they have this side business. It's a nonprofit that is, and they help women that have been through sex trafficking, where they go to like their court dates with them, where they're, the jackass, the bad guy is
who does this?
Huffman Canine.
Oh, bro, I need to put him in touch with the people that do it down in LA. I
Yeah,
have another
he
agency
probably knows
that does
them
it.
and stuff. Yeah, because
Cool.
he does contract work, but it's cool. He takes his dog. His dog acts as an emotional support animal and as a security agent, as the dog walks down with the client, like in the courtroom and stuff. And then they get cards, and if they need them, like they'll show up. And it's a pretty amazing thing that they offer, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to look for this decoy. He was a shitty decoy, and he caught a dog wrong, and then the person comes running after him and freaking starts decking him.
Ooh.
Have you seen that one?
No.
Where the guy comes running after the decoy that doesn't know what he's doing?
Yeah, hurt the dog.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, totally. And he was, look at this. Yeah,
and
get
you
the
got to be careful on
boys.
that, man.
Dude, you can jam up a dog, you break their neck, dude. And I've seen pictures of it, dude. And it's not like, that's what it was, man. It's like, you need to know what you're doing. And not only that, but you need to trust that decoy, because they could fuck up the training that you have been doing with this dog. And not only that,
and even it can happen to good decoys, right? Yeah. But obviously, and that's just something happens. They trip, they fall, whatever.
Training and trailing.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. So yeah.
You jam my dog, we fixing the fight.
Yep.
You jam my dog, we fixing the fight, dude. Yeah.
Correct, right? I mean, that's where you have to put in your time, and you have to really take your time decoying, and you have to work with people that know what they're doing. I've always done, like I said, I decoyed, but it was like my own dog having fun, right? I'm not decoying. I'm just playing around with my own dog, learning stuff. But that's why, like, to get better, I went straight to Huffman. I think those guys do amazing work, which is why I went to them for the decoy school. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to continue to work with them. They're only an hour and a half from me. So I will continue to use them as a mentor and train and catch dogs and learn. Because decoy is no joke, man. You have to be in damn good shape, and you have to take your time.
Once in one session, dude.
Yeah.
In one session, bro. And they need to be opportunistic to see, that little, where they can push that dog, or they can wait a second, allow that dog to, like.
Yeah, there's answers and question games that you're playing the whole time, right? And the way your hand, like if a dog's on the bicep, if your hand's like going underneath, right, instead of coming above, like you're twisting the dog, they're going to pop teeth. There's a lot happening that people don't see and don't understand. Twisting a neck just by moving your hand wrong, right? Going underneath or something.
And these dogs are full board. And Bart's like, some of the decoys would do some shit. Like, he's like, they I don't know. He was like, because he was trying to get the dog to bite, like on the inside of the thigh. Because then he was showing us how a decoy will kick, like just by walking and kick that dog, And he's like, and because I'm not in the working world, it was just so cool to be right with Bart and go to Gold School and just be like, okay, why did they do this? And why did they do that? And to me, one of the instances that I was very confused about was the decoy signaled to the dog when he was supposed to bite, and it was IPO,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
IPG, yeah, or
IPG.
IPO, whatever the hell they call
Yeah.
it these days. Yeah, yeah, they lift the stick.
Yeah, and
Right?
I'm like, dude, I never ever want anybody to freaking signal my dog to bite. Like, I have to be the one to do that. Like, I can't. Like, and
Yeah.
it just did not make sense to me.
Well, and that's where in that world, right, when you're talking sport world, protection world, police world, they're very different.
Right.
Right? It's very different training that goes into it, right? Even just from sport to police dog,
Think
an
lower range.
apprehension dog is not a protection dog, or I should say a protection dog is not an apprehension dog. They're two very different things. And then you have the sport side where dogs like IPG, dogs are going to be very sleeve oriented.
Yeah.
Right? Things
like
like
luring,
that.
like lure with that sleeve.
Yes.
Right. Where we would lure in the pet world, we would lure with a treat or whatever, or get the dog to dance. It's like the big flash is helping the dog get the idea for the more subtle moves. Okay.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Well, and even Bart was telling me, like, even that even if it's the lure, I'm still there. That's the bite command.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his bite command.
Conditioning that in.
It's like just that little, like, I'm still in control of this dog.
Yep.
The judge didn't see me do that, or the judge didn't care or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, got it, dude.
Yeah, and that's like in the sport world, right? Cheating without cheating, right?
Right. There's certain little things
make
that
certain things happen, right?
That's right. That to me, I'm like, okay, cool, perfect sense to me. Like once I knew that there was an actual something there, because I mean, in real world situations, there's fucking idiots out there in the world, dude, that are going to antagonize my dog. And just like you said, sometimes they're like really good at making aggression and really good at drive by counterintuitively trying to raise the dog like a person. And it just kind of goes backwards. Like if you hide, okay, I want to, Kemp, you got to come on one of these with me, man. Like,
where's he out of?
Where are you out of, Kemp? When you hide, if you budge at all, the dog can bite. Damn. You have to hold absolutely still if the dog's teeth clack down. Yeah, I've seen those, dude, and I've seen those pictures. And do you know what? I had a dog, a collie, dude. A border collie. And I'm sitting there talking to the people, man, and the dog comes running up to me, whack, right here in front of my face, dude. And I'm just like,
that was
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the first dog I ever took a bite from was I think it was a Mondio Ring 2 or 3 dog. It was a dog out of Michael Ellis's dog Pie. So a pretty sweet Malinois, big guy, LT. And I'd never taken a bite, none of it, right? And this guy Phil, who had his dog LT, he came over. I had a small Christmas tree lot at the time. He's like, here's the sleeve, I want you to go hide in the trees, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go hide behind this tree. Cool. And he's like, I'm going to send my dog out to search for you. He's like, don't move.
Don't fucking move.
He's like, have your sleeve here. And he's like, you're going to count to 3. And then you're going to say yes, right? At that time, I was just using yes as a release and like lift your sleeve up, right? That movement to catch it.
Okay, lure.
And lure, yeah. And this dog came out so fucking hot on me and was jumping up.
You're like,
was face level with me, spitting on me. I about shit myself. I mean, I was not expecting it or ready for it. And it was all I could do to sit there and not move and like count to 3 so I could release. And but like that happened. I was hooked on taking bites. Right.
Dude, I just want to get this so I could do that to my friends.
So man, it was
just be like, come here, buddy.
And I've had friends get in a suit for me for my dog Legend, and they're like, never again, never ever again. They're like, no way am I ever doing this again. So it's like you either like it or you don't. And
I've taken some bites before. I'm not the
I
biggest
enjoy
fan,
it.
dude. I'm more of a tracking guy. Like I love the
I'm super interested in that stuff. Tracking is something I'm going to dive deep into here soon as well.
Yeah. It's
just a
little
other
intense
aspect.
to me. The bite work gets a little intense for me. I'm more of a chill guy, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like, dude, I can't have it harshes my I can't have it harsh my mellow, you know what I'm saying?
I really have I'm learning to I'm finding a passion where I want to do a ton of it. I think it's a really cool gig. Again, it's finding time when you're so busy in the pet world to find time to go do that.
It would be cool if every dog trainer just took a bite. Damn right, man.
You learn a lot from it. You really do. And you, like, for me,
just
a lot of
remember
it's
that
like
aggression.
jujitsu. You learn how to be calm in stressful situations.
Aggression close up, dude. Just like a jiu-jitsu, man. Like, you need to be calm and you need to be like, okay, I need to maintain. I can't flip out. If I flip out, it's just going to make things like I'm dead in the water. And not only that, but there's those nuances. There's the nuances, but also, I mean, there's just like this pressure, right? That until you have knowledge through experience, right? That's a totally different ball game, man. Totally different ball game, you know. So BJJ has worked with dogs. I mean, a lot of it is.
It is.
Yeah. All right, bro. Well, I better let you go. You need to get some rest tonight.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go let dogs out, man. I'm still working.
I do too. I do too, dude.
I got a bunch of dogs out here. I gotta go rotate and potty, and then
see somebody trainers doing risky shit with aggression cases. Damn, dude. We were just talking about that at the beginning. You know, it's like, and they just have a misconception of what the hell they're doing, dude. And it's risky shit, man.
It is.
You know, that at times you're wasting your angles, bro. Just stop. Yep, totally. Just freaking stop. Here's Catherine Smith.
Yeah, Catherine.
Catherine, I want to
coach, man. If you want to learn,
you're invited, man. Catherine. I'm going to follow up with you, and I would love to chat with you on one of these live streams. You are formally invited right now.
She's amazing,
and I love the picture too.
Amazing.
I know Catherine. Cool. Well, dude. Let me know about tomorrow, man. I want to see your pup. And
dude, I'll shoot you some pictures on that. Like I said, I'm going to go look at a few different ones, and I actually have already been talking to Catherine about it. So when I get the pup, I'll be.
Let me put up your website
stuff too.
Let me put. Whoops, hold on. Edit. Okay, what's the website where people can find you?
So you can find me at nwbdogs.com.
Great website. You have a tagline or anything?
I don't know. I got a few probably on there. Whatever, man.
Wait, does it scroll? How do I do it? Oh, that's a banner. Okay, cool. I'm learning.
I think that an ad pops up for whatever to get people to sign up on our newsletter or whatever. But
yeah, check it out, guys. And Matt, thank you, dude.
Dude, thanks for having me on, man. That was a lot of fun, and I look forward to hopefully making it up and actually catching up in person, and we can bring John Sparks into the picture too.
Hell yeah, we can. Yeah, you need to come up here for a couple of days, man. Bring your dog, and we'll camp out here. If you could bring your RV, and you can hook up here, and maybe even do a seminar or something, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing some shadows too. I'm looking at tiny houses. We're looking at putting them up here,
cool.
And having shadows living on site. And but I need to do that with funding. So if you want to fund me with Patreon, head on over there. The link is in the comments down below. And then you hold on there, Matt. I'm going to let go of or talk to you on the other side here, but let's say goodbye to everybody.
Awesome, guys. I guess people are watching, which is cool. I saw people.
We have we have a lot of people watching. Sweet. I'll tell you how many people watched in total.
Man.
And everybody share this, share it, and share Matt's page, or go likes Matt's page, and
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Don't be a dick. And what else? Don't screw up dogs.
Don't jam dogs, man.
Don't jam dogs. Well,
jam dogs.
I love what Kelly was saying, man. It's like, you guys, let's change the lens. Let's change the lens about how people, and we can do this together. So, and
I'm big with Catherine's pushes hard on that. Which I really appreciate.
I can't wait to talk to her.
Yeah, you got to talk to Catherine, man. She's amazing.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.